Hello and welcome to FP Live. I'm Ravi Agrawal, the editor-in-chief of Foreign Policy. On a recent visit to Kyiv, I learned something new. The head of Ukrainian Defense Intelligence, Kirilo Budanov, was asked to assess which of Russia's allies were helping it the most. You'd expect his answer to be China, perhaps for its transport of dual-use electronics, or you'd think it would be Iran for its drones. Those are all useful to Russia, of course. But he said the biggest problem was actually North Korea, which was sending thousands upon thousands of shipping containers to Russia filled with munitions. Kyiv now says that North Korea is also sending troops to help Russia fight Ukraine. It raises the question, why? What's in it for Pyongyang? It also raises the question, what's in it for what is emerging as this new loose alliance of autocracies? China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea are all increasingly helping each other out in a range of global hotspots, often stymieing US interests. The Economist recently called them the quartet of chaos. But to what end? What is their goal? We spend a lot of time on this program talking to Russian and Chinese experts. Today, I thought we'd focus on two of the smaller players in this quartet of chaos, Iran and North Korea. I want to learn more about their motivations, their longer-term strategies, but also their staying power and how worried the world should be. Joining me now, Barbara Slavin is a distinguished fellow at the Stimson Center and a well-known Iran expert. And Chung Min Lee is a senior fellow in the Asia program at the Carnegie Endowment. He's previously served as ambassador for national security affairs in South Korea. Barbara, Chung Min, welcome to FP Live. Great to have you on.
Great to be here.
So, Chung Min, let me start with you. Ukraine says North Korea is sending troops to assist Russia. If that's true, boots on the ground is as direct as it gets in terms of involvement. Here's the thing that I think isn't always clear. What's in it for Pyongyang?
Well, first of all, Ravi, the Ukrainian authorities, as well as media reports, have said that up to 10,000 North Korean troops either have been deployed or are in the midst of being deployed to the Russian front. Now, there's no independent verification that that's been the case, but we do know that there have been several North Korean troops, as well as inspectors and officers, who are overseeing the millions and millions of ammunitions that have been sent to the Russian forces after the outbreak of the Ukrainian war, as well as short-range North Korean missiles and so forth. The problem is many of these rounds were made in the 60s and 70s and 80s, so that although they are having an impact on the battlefield, their overall efficacy is quite questionable. So this is why, even though Putin really depends on the surge of North Korean armaments to his forces, they're very old, very outdated, and this is something that we are all concerned about. And in return, Kim Jong-un wants two things: more advanced technology from the Russians, including for his satellites, as well as, for example, the fact that all of his fighters, all Soviet-era fighters, are at least 30 years old plus. So he wants the newest fighters, more satellite technologies, and food aid, for example, in return for sending arms and possibly even soldiers to Russia.
Barbara, we will separately get to conflict in the Middle East shortly, but just staying with the war in Ukraine for now, Iran's been sending Russia drones and other military equipment beyond money, which Tehran obviously needs. It has very few potential trading partners. What's in it for them?
Yeah, first of all, very good to be with you. The Iran-Russia military cooperation really dates to their joint effort to salvage the Syrian regime of Bashar al-Assad back in 2013-14. So they've become increasingly close since then. But in terms of just, direct quid pro quos, I think the Iranians want advanced Russian fighter jets, more advanced missile defense systems, which they could certainly use these days, especially as they're awaiting an Israeli retaliation for the Iranian retaliation for the Israeli retaliation, et cetera, from the Gaza war. So there are some specific things that they certainly want, and they have the opportunity to test out some of their drones and other weapons in the Ukraine theater and learned from that as well, which I'm sure is useful for them in their activities in the Middle East.